Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 BMW X4 M40i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This X4 is finished off in alpine white. MSRP is just over $76,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's paired to both the 48-volt hybrid system along with the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,400-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 21 miles per gallon in the city, 26 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.8 inches. Its overall length is 187.5. It has a width of 76.3, a height of 63.8, and its ground clearance measures in at 7.2 inches. Now, new for the 25-year model for the X5, it now features remote start as an option, and heated front seats are now standard. So those are basically the two biggest differences for this latest generation. Now, as we take a look up front, you'll notice that the entire kidney grille is finished off in gloss black. This model also features a forward-facing camera, and there are plenty of cutouts in that grille to provide additional cooling when needed. Now, this also has a dark housing for the LEDs up front. Headlights, high beams, DRLs, and turn signals are all LED. There's also parking sensors in the lower section with a lot more gloss black, and then tons of cutouts even on the corners of the bumpers. Those are inlets there to provide some better airflow. And there's two lines that come down the hood to give it a great look. Now, this X4 also has the optional 21-inch wheels. They have a multi-spoke design to them with the two-tone look. There's also the blue M Sport brake calipers, which you can get in a few different colors. Now, this has power folding side mirrors with the camera and the turn signal. They are finished off in gloss black, where the gloss black continues its way around the window trim. There's also a sunroof up top, and then some really nice definition running down the side. You'll notice the fender arches have a good look to them as well, and the X4 gives you that sportback design. So we have that coupe-like look with the shape of that rear glass. In back, this also has two spoilers. There's carbon fiber for the one in the lower section, and then a mini one up top there. There's the dark housings for the LED taillights. Backup camera is in the lower section there, where there's more gloss black, along with all the parking sensors. There's also the dual exhaust, along with those fins in the lower section of the diffuser there. And then with the remote start, simply just triple tap on the lock button, and it will start up. It's not all that loud, but it's a nice option to have, and then you just triple tap on that to shut it off when needed. Now, in order to gain access to the cargo space, you can use the button on the key fob, or simply just rotate the entire BMW logo, and that is the release, which is really neat to see. Now, with this X4, you still get a lot of storage. However, the height is the only factor here. It's just going to be slightly limited. But you have tons of space. There's even a lot of storage underneath the floor. You could remove that entire lid too if you need that much more space. There's this removable tray, and then you can also fold down the back seats as well to give yourself that much more interior space. There's also a hook, a 12-volt, and then you have a storage net on that left side. And then with the power liftgate, you can push on one of two buttons to either close it or lock the vehicle as well. As you just heard, it did lock. We can lock and unlock it with all 4 door handles, which is nice. And then this model has carbon fiber. There's brushed aluminum, there's leather as well, lots of storage in the lower section. And then we do have an adjustment down below to recline these seats, which is nice. And hopping in at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's storage pockets, there's climates, as well as those adjustments, 2 auxiliaries in the lower section there. And then at 5'10", I have a good amount of space here, about a ½ inch or so. So if you're any taller than me, it's going to be a little bit crammed, but I can sit upright and be very comfortable in the back. There's also the armrest in the middle, which has 2 cup holders, and then you can even fold down this middle seat individually if you need to do that, which is nice. A little bit of a pillar there, but you have the small cargo window and the window in the back to be able to see out. There's also the interior lighting. It's currently orange at the moment. So for its sizing, not all that bad for your backseat passengers. Up front, the door panel is very similar. There's the memory seating adjustments along with lock and unlock, more carbon fiber. All of the window controls, trunk release, they're all finished off in brushed aluminum. And then there's a lot more storage, and this is equipped with the Harman Kardon sound system. Very nice seats. They are automatic with the one manual control. That's for the leg support, so you can adjust that as needed. And then once we hop inside, we are greeted with the solid leather steering wheel. It's the M steering wheel. It's also heated too. On the left side, all of the cruise control settings. There's also paddle shifters, and then you have volume tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands. But let's start this back up and take a listen to how this X4 sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster, fuel and miles per hour are on the left side. On the right side, there's miles per hour along with the engine temperature. You have a few vitals in the lower section, as well as information right in the middle. Now, in order to go through that, you will use the button on the top of the turn signal stalk to rotate through this. So just push on that, and you can get through all this information. Very different than a lot of the 25-year model BMWs that have the larger screens with a lot more controls to go through. So you don't have all that much. The navigation or the map is also front and center and fixed there. So by pushing on this button, which is the button you would use in some of the newer systems, this is just going to adjust your music shortcuts on the head-up display. You can pull up miles per hour, speed limit sign, and then go through your audio adjustments. Now on this left side, there's the headlight controls along with parking lights. You get a little bit of storage. There's also one air vent. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, we have a lot on the home screen, so you can swipe through all this information. And then on the left side, you can quickly get through all of this. So all of these are fixed, so that way you can easily get to them. You have a lot more information that you can go through under car, even sport displays, your energy flow. You have vehicle status along with a lot of settings. So you can go through all of this and configure it as needed. You have your carrying car driver profiles, and then the last one is apps, where you can get into your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and several others there. Now, you can also use the controls down below to go through this information. So you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system, which is very nice. There's carbon fiber underneath that, along with two air vents. There's also a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So that way you can go through some of the tech features and monitor those as needed. There's a small LCD screen for your climates in the middle where you have fan speed, temperature. This also has heated and ventilated seats. You can use that one control to decide what you would like to use. There's power and volume, all of your presets and tuning. This even has wireless charging with some auxiliaries and cup holders. You can hide that away if you would like to. And then let's put it into reverse, where there's the backup camera along with that top-down view. This also has the automatic parking and the backup assistance. You can also scroll over to the 3D view, so that way you can look around the entire vehicle, and then there's another top-down view if you need to use that. Now, in order to get to the forward-facing camera, put it into drive, and then push this button right here, and that will pull that up in full screen. You can also shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters, and then park is located right behind that. Now, there's also traction control, parking sensors, a few different driving modes here. You can go into sport, comfort, and eco. And then there's also a downhill assist, auto hold, and the e-brake. You get a little bit of storage with an auxiliary in the armrest, and then plenty of storage in the glove box there. There's garage door buttons for the rear view mirror, and then you have your dome lights and the adjustments for that sunshade and sunroof. And then a look at visibility from the driver's seat, a little bit more open since you can see that cargo window, and then you still have plenty of visibility over that left side as well. As we set up now behind the wheel for the BMW X4, it's interesting to note, as I've already showed for the 25-year model, that we don't have that curved screen that BMW is putting in a lot of their vehicles. Now, I know at the same time too, that's not for everyone. Some people do like having this split design here. So that's what you get for the latest version in the X4. And this is a really fun SUV to check out. Now, if you're new to the channel, I own an X5. So a little bit bigger than this. We have more of that traditional SUV shape for my X5 versus the sport or coupe-like design that you get with this X4 here. So just a personal preference on the exterior shape that you would like, but I have the same engine that you get in this. And so if we put it into sport mode, we can downshift a few gears here. Sounds really good. And we have plenty of power. So this is going to give you a little bit more sporty feel for the X4. Some of the lower trim levels have a completely different engine. So if you're looking for the power, you go with the M40i here. And from ownership experience, this drives very nice. I do have the adaptive suspension in my X5, which is not in the X4 here, but for the suspension that it does have, I think it rides very nice. If you're looking for a luxury vehicle, something that is going to be really nice to drive from point A to point B, BMW definitely makes some great driving vehicles, and you have all of the creature comforts and amenities that you could want in this vehicle. Now, as far as its $76,000 price tag goes, I think that's a little bit high for the type of SUV you are getting. This is a little bit smaller, but you're mainly getting the performance aspects of it. And then obviously if you don't need a larger SUV, you want something like this, you could even go with the X4 M40i if you wanted the more traditional SUV shape. Some of those can get up in the price as well. So it mainly just depends on your personal preference. It's only worth it to the person who is going to enjoy it, and that is what fits their needs for driving. With this X4, you can still fit in a good bit of items for its size. The only thing you can't really do is tow. I don't think there's a towing package for the X4, but not a lot of people use their BMWs, aside from me, to tow. So I got the towing hitch in the package for my X5. But it drives very nice. I like the size of the steering wheel here. Seats are definitely really nice with their bolster support here. And as we take another sharp right, it handles so well. I really like how BMW can incorporate the handling characteristics in some of their heavier vehicles as well as their SUVs too. So that way, if you don't want a sports car, you don't want a coupe or a sedan, you can still get some of those in this SUV, which is really nice to see. And we're still in sport mode, second gear. Here we go. The shifts are also very, very smooth and very, very quick. So they are actually something that, if you're buying this, I hope you're using them, because it just adds to that fun factor of being behind the wheel. And then if we tone it back, let's put it into Eco. You can actually still use the paddle shifters, but the throttle response is significantly delayed. So with that same kind of similar acceleration, I had to push the accelerator much further to get up and move. So there is a big difference between those driving modes. Mainly just depends on the driving that you're doing for the day. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the X4. Definitely a great place to be. You sit kind of low in this. I would kind of call it a crossover SUV. It's not quite like the X5, X7, but a little bit bigger than X1 and X2, obviously. But the way that you sit in this, with kind of how low you are with the hood there, I definitely feel like it's like you're sitting in a sedan, but you're higher up, of course, in an SUV. So it has that vibe to it as far as the seating position goes. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you're not, high up like you would be in a truck or even my X5. I can see a lot more of the hood. As far as its turning radius goes, it's pretty tight here. And then visibility is pretty good. I mean, we have that pillar there, but I can easily see the cars that are coming through here, if the window stickers weren't there as well. But with the side view mirrors there, so pretty easy to see all around, even with the shape of the exterior. And it's definitely very smooth. If you want something that's going to be well refined, the BMW is definitely the SUV to go with. And of course you have tons of options, so it really just depends on your budget, what you're looking to get out of your X4. But that is going to wrap it up for this 2025 BMW X4 M40i. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads I will see you all in the next video.